KCAL News at 3.
Good afternoon on a very busy Tuesday afternoon. I'm Sandra Mitchell. Our top story on KCAL 9 News at 3, streaming live on KCAL9.com right now. It is our breaking news from Gardena High School. Police say an accidental shooting on that campus earlier today. We know that 2 students are wounded. Gardena High School is near the intersection of Normandy and 182nd Street. It's in the city of Los Angeles. Police officers rushed there after a 911 call. It was just after 10:30 this morning when that call came in. All right, here now is the very latest on what we know. The gun apparently was in a 10th grader's backpack. It accidentally went off when he dropped that backpack or placed it on a desk in a classroom. The single bullet that was fired hit a 15-year-old girl in the head. Hospital officials say she was struck in the temple. It also struck a 15-year-old boy in the neck. Both of them are hospitalized. The student suspect was detained, and that school was locked down for several hours. KCAL9's Dave Lopez has been at the scene. He's been there all day. He's going to join us live right now with an update on the very latest. Dave?
Well, it's still a very high secure scene here, just on 182nd near Budlong. I count in a 1.5 block area, 20 different squad cars, all from the Gardena Police Department, so the scene is far from finished. We can't tell you that we learned just a short time ago that the suspect is 17. All day long we've been told he was 15, but he's actually a 17-year-old student here at Gardena. It was in a health class that he walked into, and as you described, nonchalantly put down his backpack that had a gun, perhaps an automatic, perhaps cocked, but whatever. When he put that backpack down, the gun went off. Gardena High School, a sprawling campus of nearly 3,000 students, and this morning, one of the 3,000 brings a gun hidden in his backpack, takes it into a classroom, and disaster. According to police, one bullet hit 2 students, a female in the head, a male in the neck. Both were in that classroom. An explanation for how this happened.
Essentially, what we have is the person that's responsible for this particular shooting came into a classroom. It appears set a backpack down on a desk, and a gun that was inside that backpack discharged. The round from that gun hit both of the students.
The student who brought the gun on campus, identified by police as a 17-year-old student of Gardena, who came to campus wearing black. Apparently he was shocked because the minute the gun discharged, he fled the scene, ran onto the campus. That's when the campus was shut down, all 3,000 students, and a manhunt was underway. He eventually was caught with no weapon. The only weapon he had was in the backpack. And the 2 students who were shot were the only ones injured.
As for the 2 students that were injured in this particular incident, I don't have names for you, but one is a female, a 15-year-old female with a gunshot wound to the head. She is in critical condition and she is in surgery at this right now. The second child is a 15-year-old male with a gunshot wound to the neck, and he is stable in a local hospital.
There are metal detectors and security wands at every LA Unified High School campus, but according to district-wide policy, not every student is checked.
There is a district policy that is done randomly. How that is done randomly is up to the school principal and the method by which they introduce that during the school day.
So it's possible he wasn't even checked. He could have just walked on with his gun, not even checked.
It is a possibility that today the student who walked on with that backpack was not checked. That's correct.
Back out to the front of the school where you see a number of police officers leaving the campus. Perhaps what they are doing here has now been completed. The investigation, we are told, will go on for a couple of more days, although school will be back in session. All the students were very quietly and without any fanfare released at about a couple minutes before 3 o'clock. That's a little earlier than before 2 o'clock, so it's a little earlier than usual. As for why isn't every student checked, the flip side, look at it this way. You have a campus of 3,000 students. Is it possible to run a school every day without any real disruption, checking 3,000 students through some kind of metal detector? Reporting live from Gardena High School, Dave Lopez, KCAL 9 News.
All right, Dave, thanks for the update. 2 victims in the shooting, as Dave just told you. One of those victims, a 15-year-old girl. At last check, she was in critical condition. Now, just about an hour ago, we did get an update from Harvard-UCLA Medical Center. That's where both of the victims are being treated.
The female is 15 years old, received a gunshot to the head. She's still in surgery right now, should be coming out soon. He's in critical condition. The boy, he's 15 years old, is in serious condition. He's in the emergency department and being taken upstairs soon.
And of course, we are monitoring the developments there at the hospital for you. We have a reporter on the scene. We're going to bring you a live update ahead on KCAL 9 News at 4 o'clock. As you can imagine, it was a scary day for students and for their families. KCAL 9's Melissa Maynard live at the school where a lot of panicked parents rushed to see if their kids were all right. Most of the students we know now have been dismissed, right, Melissa?
Yeah, that is right. This quarter at Normandy and 179th at about 1:50 this afternoon was just chaos. Parents running up to their children, hugging them for the first time after, they had heard that there was a shooting at Gardena High School. They didn't know whether their kids were okay or not. And this was where it happened. The kids came right out of that gate across the street, and you can see now Normandy is opened back up. Cars are driving by, and the scene right now here is clear. Now, we are getting some information from the kids who were let out of this gate earlier. They said, we talked to several of them, they say they are the shooter's friends. Just as the school district reported, these students say that they are a friend of the shooter. They say this shooting was unintentional.
It wasn't no purpose thing to bring him to bring a gun to come shoot somebody. It was an accident. But he had it for protection. It wasn't really no thing like gang bang affiliated, come up here to shoot anybody.
When it happened, I read out the classroom when I was talking to him, and he was like, "Oh, my back hurt, my back hurt." I'm like, "Bro, you all right?" He's like, "Yeah," but then
Have you talked to him since he was shot?
No, when it first happened, I talked to him, yeah.
And that girl you just heard from, she was speaking about one of the victims, a 15-year-old boy who was taken to the hospital with a wound, the bullet apparently grazing his neck. Another student, as you know, 15-year-old girl in serious condition at the hospital with a gunshot wound to the head. We are here live at the scene and trying to put together a response and talking to parents today and students, just happy for those who were reunited today, and we will bring that to you later in the day as the story develops. Live in Gardena, I'm Melissa Maynard, KCAL 9 News. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Melissa. That 17-year-old who brought the gun to school was taken into custody.